Oh no, I learned every single lyric from Everything Is Awesome. I am not letting another Lego Movie song get stuck in my What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just saw the Lego Movie 2, the second part. I am a massive fan of the first Lego Movie. The more I saw it, the more it grew on me. It slowly turned into one of my favorite animated movies from that year, from that decade, just from ever. I love that first movie, the humor, everything about it works so well for my personal taste, and I was so excited to see the second one. I finally got to see it, and today we are going to talk about it because that's what we do here. I love talking about movies. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the film and then give you my score. Get down in the comment section below. Are you excited for this film? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let's talk about the Lego Movie 2, the second part. So it's been 5 years since Everything Was Awesome, and the citizens are facing a huge new threat. Invaders from outer space are wrecking everything faster than they can rebuild. So this movie was not directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the two guys that brought us the first film, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, 2122 Jump Street, executive producers of Into the Spider-Verse. They're really good at what they do. It's from Mike Mitchell, the director of Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked, and Trolls. So I did not know what kind of style, what kind of flair this film would have. I wanted it to be similar to the first Lego Movie, maybe do something a bit differently, and everything that I wanted going in that I was a bit hesitant about, I got it. I want everyone who is holding their breath, worried about this second film, who loved the first. Now, if you didn't love the first, I don't know if you're going to love the second. It is more of the same, even though it goes in a slightly different direction. I want you guys to know that this movie does at least live up to the first one, and it's a very solid sequel. I am so happy I was able to see this because I was laughing non-stop in the theater. Not just me, everyone that was with me, everyone in the theater, we were all laughing together. Such incredible humor. And at the beginning of this movie, you get thrown right in once again. That's exactly what happened with the first, and once again, you're in there, you're getting those jokes, the non-stop action, the movements, the colors, the style, the animation in this film is so incredible. It's something I loved about the first. You get it here in the second, and you get it full-fledged, all of the colors, all of the movements, that Lego style that maybe takes a second or two to get accustomed to, but once you are, boom, you're in it, you're locked in. I had to use the bathroom multiple times throughout the movie. I couldn't find a time to leave because I was just enjoying myself oh so much. Now, is it a perfect film? No, I have my issues. I have a bit more issues than I had in the first one, so I will tell you guys, if you're curious, just in case you're wondering, I did like the first Lego Movie better than this, and that's pretty concrete. Maybe I'll watch this one more, maybe I'll be like, what was I thinking? I like this second one way more. But as of right now, if you're asking me to compare, I like the first one more. There were some things in here that did kind of bother me a bit, maybe didn't 100% work like the filmmakers intended. Some musical numbers that I don't know if they necessarily needed, something that we did not get in the first, and I like the fact that they went in a bit of a different direction. They're doing something that they didn't do before, and that's good in its own way. It's original. I just didn't know if I loved all of the musical numbers. Some of them are catchy, of course they're going to be. Some of them have great jokes, one with Batman in particular. Kind of know where I'm going with this. You can predict some of the jokes they're going to use in a song with Batman, but they work. They're really funny. It's just the amount of musical numbers had me a bit overwhelmed at times. It's just something I personally wasn't ready for going in, and I will say the majority, like 95% of the jokes in the first one worked and worked super well, hit super hard for me. In this film, there were certain jokes and certain characters in here that just didn't land. They missed the marks. They worked very well for kids, and that's really the intended audience in a way, so for that fact, I can't judge it too harshly. But as an adult sitting there, I was like, maybe they tried too hard on this particular joke, or they thought this character was going to be a hoot, so they kept going back to him, and he wasn't a hoot. In my opinion, the banana character, that's all I'm going to say, nothing more. It just didn't work for me. The first joke was really funny, and after that, I'm just like, can we move on and not do that anymore? But you know, those are my nitpicks. This is a review. I have to tell you guys what I didn't love, but that doesn't mean the rest of the movie didn't work for me. As a whole, this thing is going to hopefully be a box office hit, and I think it's going to be a critical hit as well. I don't see a lot of people who love the first one walking out going, no, it's completely different, I hated it. No, because the humor is there, the wittiness in the script is there, the character interactions are fantastic. A lot of our characters, not all of them, but most of them return in this movie. They are so good. I loved having having those moments between our main two characters, in particular, Emmett and Lucy. Emmett and Lucy, I just love everything about their dynamic. From beginning to end, it worked for me. The character arcs and the arc as a whole, you kind of know and see where it's going about halfway through the movie, although there is a twist in there that I will not reveal, but that one did kind of get me. But the overall story, where some of these characters ended up, the arc as a whole, I was still very happy with where we ended at, and I really like some of these surprise cast members. I'm like, oh, look at that. It's just a film that is full of surprises, full of incredibly well thought out jokes. I mean, the jokes, the pop culture references, you know they're coming, you just don't know how exactly they're going to hit you, and they hit me at times, especially the first 30 or 40 minutes of this movie. And I will say I like the first half a tad bit more than I like the second half, but I still really enjoyed the second half. The first half just had some hilarious jokes. I mean, laugh out loud. Everyone will be cracking up, bouncing up and down in their seats just because of the level of humor here. It is top notch, guys. One of the funniest movies, not all year because we're just in January right now, but of the last couple of months. It was just so funny. Although I will say this style of frantic, crazy, over-the-top humor, the evil, menacing villains and explosions and weapons being voiced by young children, that had me cracking up. And no matter how many times they did it, sometimes a joke can be too repetitive. No, keep this coming, because it just got to me. I don't know why or how. I will never be able to explain it, but I was laughing so hard. It's just my style of humor. This Lego movie world in general, from the first one to the Lego Batman movie. I haven't seen Ninjago yet. I need to see it, especially if I rank this entire series, but that style of humor just really works for me. You can just feel Phil Lord and Chris Miller's touch on this film. Even though they weren't there in the director's chair, they were still hands-on executive producers. They helped write the script, and I love all of that. I love feeling their presence back. And just two quick shout-outs real quick. Quick shout-out to Will Arnett as Batman. I could listen to that man as Batman every single day of my life. And shout-out to one particular joke that kept referencing an action star that they continued to come back to, and everyone was laughing, and I loved every second of it. So at the end of the day, I will say everything is still awesome, maybe a little less so than the first one. It's not quite as funny for me, and the execution wasn't 100% there. I think it did miss the mark a few times, but I still had a really good time with the movie, and because of all of those things, I'm going to give the Lego Movie 2, the second part 2, whatever you guys want to call it, I'm going to give it an 80% really solid sequel. A lot of the times you do not get animated films that fully deliver on a sequel. This one didn't fully deliver, but it still delivered something that I think a lot of people, especially its target audience, kids, are going to be happy with, and adults, most of them will be happy that they were able to see it themselves. Every Thursday I'm tackling the latest movie in theaters, and every Friday and Saturday I'm tackling whatever falls on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, whatever I decide to watch, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it as quickly as possible for you guys. You are truly the absolute best. Thank you for everything that you guys do, and I'll catch you very soon.